Hello there, my name is Kevin, aka Toying Around. You are looking at two 1/12 scale Bandai model kits. On the left is the Death Trooper Specialist, and on the right it is Darth Vader. If you've been following the channel, in July I've been doing 31 days of content, and some of those days I've been doing some live build sessions of model kits, kind of getting into model kits, and now these are the completed products of some of the stuff that I've done this month. And I just wanted to show really quickly, if you don't want to go back through however many episodes of me putting it together, you can just kind of look at this review and then see what you're getting with each model kit, and if this is the right thing for you, if it can replace your Black Series if you don't have one yet, or if it can complement some of the Black Series stuff that you may already have. It's important to note that I haven't put on any of the water slide stickers on either of these model kits. For both of these kits, you have two options. You have the option to do regular stickers, and you also have the option to do water slides. And as I'm a grown man who is incapable of applying his own decals, these aren't on yet. I just have to figure out when and where to do it. So the Darth Vader set is from the Empire Strikes Back version. On the bottom of the box, you can see that Darth Vader is hanging over the one ledge on Cloud City after he's knocked Luke off of the edge and cut his hand off. So that's this version. They also make another version, Return of the Jedi, where his helmet comes off and you can see Anakin Skywalker's face underneath. And on the left side for the Death Trooper, the interesting part about this set is you can make a Death Trooper or you can make a Death Trooper Specialist. You actually have options. So they come with parts to make either trooper. If you wanted to army build, you can buy multiple sets of this kit and make different versions. Now, I don't know if you've been interested in model kits before or not. Again, I said I've recently got into these kits, and I found this to be really easy to build. All you need is a set of nippers. After building 2 or 3 model kits, I would recommend getting a more high quality brand like the God Hand ones. If this is a hobby that you think that you're gonna go into and stick with, it's better to have a higher quality nipper, because when you're cutting the pieces off of the sprue, it's nice to have a good tool to remove and reduce some of these little spots on your pieces once you've removed them. I've also had some really great advice from other model builders who showed up in the chat during the live streams, saying you have the option to maybe cut away from the sprue a little bit further and then use an X-Acto knife to cut it off to get a clean cut. Again, it's been really awesome putting these together. Finding out more people in the action figure community are also into these model kits as well, and this is the cool, if there's a Venn diagram of action figure collecting and model building, like this would be right in the dead center of it, because these will fit in with your action figures. So first I'm going to take a look at Darth Vader. He comes with this open hand as well as some other options for a fist hand, that look where he's like, join us in that pose. So you have that option to make that here. You have other hand options as well. This lightsaber comes out of the hand. You can also have a lightsaber hilt that doesn't have the blade, which fits onto the side of his cloak here. Right off the bat, you can look at the helmet and you can see the design is much nicer than a Black Series figure that you might get. The finish on the helmet is very reflective. I believe in A New Hope, when you first meet Vader, his helmet is really dull, but later on it does get more shiny, and I think the shininess adds to the intimidation factor of the character. So I do prefer this look from the model kit. Now remember, this was on a sprue. These are pieces that I put together to make this figure, and while I'm building it, I thought it was really cool to see how to make each joint, how the figures come together, and it really helps me visualize how things work while handling other toys in the future. The main part that people are concerned with the figure is this cape, because it is plastic, and it's a very strange design. I think once you get used to the fact that it's plastic, you should be able to pose it very well. It's like posing an extra limb on a figure. It's just one more limb for you to take care of, but it's actually in 3 sections: the left, right, and the centerpiece. And it does move a bit, so you can get a little bit more of an action pose if you need it. His head has pretty decent range for articulation. You don't really see Vader moving his head, tilting it that much left to right, but he can turn when needed and looks down just enough. This upper armor part here is a little bit gray, where the rest of the figure is black. The shoulder here is on a ball joint inside, and it has a little bit of a drop down action, which is really cool, and you're able to move the arms out, but the higher you get, it starts to knock off some of these pieces of the cape. So what the instructions do recommend is you remove these pieces first, get the pose, and then put it back on. Or the other thing you can do is get a soft goods cape. And for all the articulation junkies out there, look at the range on this elbow for a model kit. So it's kind of like a double joint. There's an extra piece in there inside. It's rather unsightly when you look at it head on, but if you're doing something like this where you're able to hide the articulation or hide the joint itself but still try to get the pose, it looks fantastic because you do have that range. But again, it looks like, I don't know, there's some sort of alien slug inside. But once you have the arm straight, it does look really good. It also has a bicep swivel on here. Like, it's a model kit with a lot of articulation that you would expect out of maybe, say, a Marvel Legends or Hasbro Black Series, obviously. Hand swaps are on a ball peg in there, and if you've never seen it before, like, it gets really great range. You can really get a lot of angles with the wrist. There's just a bit of a gap between the glove and the base of the hand. The upper abdomen does have really great range in terms of going side to side, but also turning, which is crazy. Again, I can't show you now, but having put the model together, like, I built the upper area, the abdomen, and then the lower base, there's a ball peg in there that gives it all this movability, and it's really cool to see as you're making it. So you do have a lot of range there. There's also Vader's inner cape that you can move out a little bit, and the legs here do have a little bit of a drop down. There's no thigh rotation. However, you can get a little bit of rotation at the very top of the ball joint there. It kicks out a decent range. And also, this model kit has like a double jointed knee. Just like the elbow, you get really great range on this knee articulation. But once more, you have that kind of weird gummy worm joint inside the knee. But otherwise, you have a nice shine here on the shin pads, and you have a little bit of an ankle rocker here, and it lets you move the feet around a little bit. The sculpt is here. The crazy part is that the sculpt is here on the figure. There's articulation for days. Like, it's almost comparable to a Hasbro figure. Now, if I switch it over to the Death Trooper, what I've gone and done is I went the Death Trooper Specialist option, and the difference is that some of the gear on his abs over here is new. You have this pouch here that's for his EpiPens, and of course the pauldron, which indicates he's the Specialist. And then honestly, it's really cool to see a kit where it gives you the pieces for both options. You can choose which one you want to have. For him, he has hand swaps. He comes with blaster rifle, kind of like a sidearm blaster on the side here that hangs from a holster that you can remove. And you also get this gigantic blaster, a little bit longer than this one, and I'll put some pictures up of how the weapons look. They all look really great. He comes with multiple hands, there's fists, there's a bunch of trigger hands for either side, left or right. And the really cool part for model kit hands compared to a Hasbro figure is that you're not getting just a single C grip, or you're not getting just a single trigger finger hand that works for all things. However, you get a trigger hand, but the part of the hand where it's the knuckles actually separates. It separates, which allows you to fit in the handle of your weapon, and then you put the fingers back on, so you get a very secure grip on your weapon, while at the same time a hand that looks accurate. You're able to put the finger on the trigger, wrap it around the handle, and then you can still plug it into your figure right after. And that's a really cool distinction from a model kit and something like a Black Series or an SH Figure Arts. So having put Vader and the Death Trooper kits together one after another, there's a lot of similar articulation, like with the shoulder here. This side, obviously, you can still go up a little bit with the pauldron on, but you're not really going to get a lot of rotation, and that's fine. He's mostly going to be holding a blaster. I don't think he's doing much martial arts or anything like that. It does also have the bicep swivel up here under the armor plating. It's got double jointed elbow, again, just like Vader. Crazy range. The same kind of joint inside on the elbow. But this is another figure, like, it's so shiny. It looks so good. It looks so good. and I'll compare it to the Black Series right afterwards. All of these pouches here and the little things on his belt, they were individual pieces that I had to put together and fit on. If that's your thing, you're gonna have a lot of fun doing this. He does also have a diaphragm joint like Vader, and it turns really well. Like, he can pretty much do a 360. That's how much clearance there is on the abdominal joint. This does have a little bit of the drop down for the legs. It doesn't go all the way forward on a kick because there's armor here as well as some pouches overhanging that joint. But here's a better image of the kind of knee range that you get on the model kit. And this one has a very generous ball joint. It's honestly so cool putting together a ball joint and seeing the pieces come together, putting it into the shoe, putting it at the bottom of the leg, and then just seeing everything come together. And on top of that, for his sidearm, there's a little hook here you can hook his blaster into, and it hangs on the side perfectly. Like, it looks proper. Everything on this dude looks proper. If I knew how to put on stickers, it would be incredible. Side by side, here is the model kit next to a Black Series Darth Vader. This is the Black Series Vader, the first one with a removable helmet. Here he is next to a SH Figuart Stormtrooper. I love the height difference because Vader is supposed to be towering. Well, not towering, but taller than the Stormtroopers. And there he is next to a Black Series Stormtrooper. Here's the model kit Death Trooper next to the Black Series Darth Vader. Next to the Black Series Stormtrooper. Next to the SH Figuarts Stormtrooper. And here's the model kit side by side next to the Black Series Death Trooper. I love how much shinier the armor is on the model kit. The Black Series one is a little bit dull and not as shiny. The weapons on the Black Series are pretty well molded and sculpted. The longer weapon has a little bit of warping to it because of, I guess, how it was packaged, but I think the detail is there on both weapons. In terms of sculpting, they're pretty similar on both of the Stormtroopers. The model kit does have, again, the better finish on it, which looks better, but they do both have similar pouches. If this one were converted to the regular Death Trooper, I'd say they were both pretty accurate sculpts and pretty accurate representations on either side. So doing the live streams with the live build sessions, I was really excited to see there were more action figure collectors who were also model builders. Do you do models? Are you interested in models? Does this make you want to get into models? Do you think these model kits will fit in with your regular collections like SH Figuarts or Black Series? Let me know if you have any questions. I think at this price point, there are a lot of benefits to having the model kit with some better looking detail, some better looking finishes, with water slides and stickers. I'm sure this would take my models to the next level. However, you know, there are some joints that don't look as good, in my opinion, as the Black Series, but you still get that type of range, and you do get the enjoyment of putting the figure together yourself, and you have the option of, for both figures, to add a final paint job afterwards to make it look how you want. The main thing with the model kit Vader is that the plastic cape does seem to be a little bit frustrating. It takes some getting used to. You might want to look into getting a soft goods cape aftermarket. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy these figures and this quick review and comparison. I think they are a viable option, but the best thing to do is to get one, build one for yourself, and see how it is. Thank you for watching. Leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Keep toying around. I hope you enjoy the channel this month. Peace!